Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Today I'm gonna do get ready with me. I'm gonna do my makeup like really casually and chill, and do kind of like a life update, why I've been MIA, and almost like a second trimester recap. It's been a hard few months for me, and I've tried to focus a lot of my gift guides, very non-personal things on my YouTube channel and even on my social media, but I really miss telling y'all things, like y'all's comments, and hopefully y'all have, you know, an experience or advice or something to share with me after I tell y'all everything. I needed to come back and tell y'all what's been going on. So hopefully y'all understand and y'all don't see it as me complaining. I know the world is in shambles. I know there's a lot going on, but I have big feelings. So I feel like a toddler saying that, but yeah, I'll have all the products that I use down below. I also cut my hair myself, and I'm not wearing my extensions because I cannot be bothered. Yeah, let's get into it. This is literally the first time I'm putting on makeup in like 2 weeks. I'm gonna try really hard not to cry, even though I feel like I'm really overdue for a good cry. I'd rather not do that on the internet. I feel like I was really hopeful for the second trimester this time around, and it went nothing like I imagined. I've been getting really interesting TikToks lately, and I understand and recognize how good I have it compared to other people. Just want y'all to know that I understand that maybe my complaints aren't super valid considering, you know, what so many people go through, but it's still just the way I feel, and I've been missing y'all's advice and input. And honestly, I think it's gonna make me feel better to put this out there, just because I would really love to hear other people's experiences. I've only talked to a few close friends about it, and you know, I need all the support I can get, especially emotionally. So my anatomy scan was a little delayed. I usually get it at 20 weeks, but I had to reschedule and they were kind of backed up. So I didn't get it until 24 weeks, but I've been paying for ultrasounds just to ease my anxiety because I didn't want to wait, you know, 4 weeks to find out if everything was okay with baby boy. So I've been going to private ultrasounds. Everything has looked great up until recently. So at 24 weeks, I went to the hospital where I usually get my ultrasounds done. I was looking at everything while she was doing it. I'm not a doctor, obviously, but you know, I was like looking at the heart and everything looked fine. And then always at the end of the ultrasounds, a doctor comes and, you know, reviews all the results from the scan, and then they tell you if anything's wrong or if anything, you know, is a concern. So he seemed very chill about this. He was like 2 ounces off from what the weight we want him to be at this point. So we're gonna have you come back in 6 weeks just for a growth scan at 29 weeks, just to make sure he's growing accordingly. He said it in such a chill manner. It didn't raise any red flags for me when it originally happened. I didn't stress out too much. To me, 2 ounces was like such a small amount. I was fine. I did another private ultrasound at like 27 weeks. These are people that like my mom know, so I was talking to them about it, and they were like, everything is measuring perfect. I really don't know what they were seeing that day. Maybe he was moving a lot, blah blah. So I was like, great, nothing to worry about. I felt like I could breathe. I was like, finally, you know, things are fine. I go in last week for the growth scan at the hospital anyway, at 29 weeks. I'm looking at all the measurements, and I see that some measurements are a little bit off. Like everything was supposed to be measuring around like 28 weeks, 6 days, 29 weeks, but some measurements, especially in the legs, were giving like 27 weeks. Something that the ultrasound tech told me, like the one that's friends with my mom, is that for the most part, really important measurements are the head and the stomach. Like they want those to be measuring correctly, and then the limbs, you know, they can always be a little off depending on the parent's height and stuff. I should mention that my daughter Olivia was measuring average, and you know, we only did the anatomy scan and then we didn't see her again until like 36 weeks to see if she was head down. So this is like pretty new to me, even though I am 4'11". It was never really a concern of mine because my husband is pretty average when it comes to his height. So back to the ultrasound. When it came to her just looking at the heart, she was there for a hot minute, and I was kind of freaking out because some of our friends had like a heart condition with their baby, and it was like pretty traumatic. So I was like freaking out because I could only see 3 chambers. So I was like, is the 4th chamber there? Like, is everything okay? And she's like, yeah, everything's fine. Like, this is just a growth scan. If there was like any medical concern, they would have told you at the anatomy scan. So then the doctor comes to talk to me and to my husband. She's saying that, you know, she's gonna check if the umbilical cord is receiving enough blood flow and circulation is fine, because he's still not measuring what they want to see him measure. So he's like at 12%, and usually they want them to be around 15%, and if they fall below 10%, that would be like an IUGR pregnancy, the intrauterine growth restriction, which is very risky and dangerous for the babies and having complications or preemies and whatever. So at this point I'm kind of panicking. It's taking her a hot minute to find the circulation, and I don't know why, like the first thought that popped into my head was just to ask all these crazy questions. I'm not gonna really say what I asked, but you know, I started raising some concerns. I was like, could it be this condition? Could it be genetic? What are we looking for here? You know, I immediately go into panic mode. It's just who I am as a person, and I think of like worst case scenarios. I literally asked her, it's like, what's the worst case scenario here? What if it doesn't improve? What if, you know, he falls off the curb? Like, what exactly do I need to expect? She, once again, just like the first doctor, seemed pretty chill about it. She wasn't extremely reassuring or anything. If anything, like, I think she was trying to focus on finding the circulation in the umbilical cord, so she wasn't like really paying too much attention to what I was asking. But she said, you know, her daughter went through a similar thing, and her husband, who's also a physician, asked similar questions, so that I wasn't being crazy, but no, that it's nothing genetic, it's nothing like that, that those things would have been seen prior to the scan, or the limbs would be shorter. She just said, we'll see you again in 6 weeks. Mind you, in 6 weeks I'd be like 34 weeks at that point, right? At this point, I leave this office. I don't have gestational diabetes, because that also got kind of delayed, and I'm just feeling all the things. Like, I'm anxious, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and then I start telling, you know, family, and they're like, well, are you eating enough? Well, I'm eating enough, I swear. They're asking all these things, like, are you taking your prenatals, and may I ask for a second opinion? And I'm just like, what do you want me to do? I'm too far along to change OBs, even though I don't love my OB. Super hard to find an OB in the middle of December in Houston right now. I am not doing anything to cause this. Like, I've taken my prenatals, I've tried not to exert my body in certain ways. I still have to carry Olivia because she's 2 years old and doesn't understand. So I'm like Googling all these things, which I know I shouldn't do, and preterm labor, and then I'm getting all these TikToks about like stillbirth and all this stuff, and I'm just in a very, very dark place mentally. There's nothing, I mean, he's moving fine. It's not like he's like super tiny, where, like I said, they're concerned. All our genetic testing came back fine. All his organs and everything looks good, and like I said, it's not a super huge weight difference. Like, it's not like he's supposed to be weighing like 4 pounds and he's weighing 1. It's like a few ounces off. There's been 2 scans, so the data like really couldn't be that far off, but I'm just kind of panicking. So if you had a small baby, or you know, anyone you know had some sort of experience with this, please let me know. I think one of the main things she said is like, well, you're small, you're tiny. She's like, yeah, but I had an average baby already. But all babies are different, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. I'm still panicking. That's what's going on with baby boy. I'm 30 weeks tomorrow. I still have like a good month before my next scan. Might pay another $100 just to check again in between now and then. Christmas is the day after tomorrow. I'm not having a good Q4, if I'm being honest. I've been very stressed about work. I've also been very stressed about not posting enough here, which I haven't. I've been, you know, kind of slacking in all areas of my life. I've also been feeling like a pretty crappy mom. I'm so tired now, which I knew all of this was coming, which is why I really tried to plan ahead, and I decorated ahead, and I shopped for gifts for Olivia ahead, and I took the Christmas card pictures ahead. But even then, like, nothing really prepared me for how exhausting it would be to have a toddler and be pregnant, especially during this time of year where there's so much to do. The weather is perfect, y'all. Like, I take Olivia on walks and I'm so exhausted. Like, I don't know, I just feel so guilty, and I remind myself, you know, people do this all the time. People do this with multiple kids. People do this with twin pregnancies, and they have more kids. But Olivia is still not on a Mother's Day Out program because she's still on the wait list, which has been really challenging for me, and all this guilt is really consuming me. I don't like to feel like I'm failing in any aspect of my life, but as a mom, I feel so horrible. I feel guilty about that, and then I feel guilty about baby boy being small and all this stuff, and I just have so much anxiety about just potential things. I can't really help it. I already talked to my OB. I already got, you know, referred to therapist again, just because my postpartum anxiety was really bad the first time, and I am trying to avoid that as much as possible. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I had a full-on mental breakdown with my husband the other day. I was like, I'm very scared I'm gonna lose my mind this postpartum season. I don't wanna, you know, fail as a mom with Olivia. He said, you have a lot of support, which I do. I'm very, very grateful. I don't know what I would do. I mean, Olivia, as we speak, is with my mom while my husband works. I know I'm very lucky, which in turn makes me feel even more guilty, because I'm like, what about the people that like do this on their own? And I'm out here complaining when I have a whole ass village. But I did not think it was gonna be this hard to be pregnant with another child. My first pregnancy was really hard during this same time, because my grandma had passed away, my brother was deployed in the Middle East. I just felt a lot of feelings too. I feel like this is completely different, and I don't really know how to ground myself and how to dig myself out of this hole. I mean, like I said, I haven't put makeup on in like 2 weeks. It takes everything in me to leave the house. My husband has been working a lot because this is his busy season with work. So I've been like alone with her more than I usually am, which like the timing couldn't have been worse, because I'm more tired than ever. You know, some days are better than others. You know, some days I sleep good, so I wake up with all this energy, and then something goes wrong and I'm just like, dang it. Like, or yesterday I was like, let's get out of the house, Olivia, like let's go do something fun. I tried to get dressed, y'all, and I really thought my second time around, my experience the second time around being pregnant was going to be a little easier when it came to seeing my body change and to, you know, gaining weight and having a bump and all this stuff. And when I tell you, if anything, it's been harder. I know I can lose the weight. I know this is temporary. I know all those things. And I came into this pregnancy fully knowing that I was like a badass and I did it all, and I lost all the weight, and I was the fittest that I've ever been postpartum, and I felt really proud of myself for that. And I knew that my body was going to change. I'm 4'11". There's really nowhere for, you know, the weight to go. However, nothing really mentally prepares you to see your body change so drastically in like 6-7 months. I have an entire closet that I stare at every day. I'm not even joking. Maybe like 10% of that closet fits me. It's so depressing, and I know this is like the last of my worries right now, but nothing fits me. I thought being pregnant in the winter would be easier, you know, like sweaters and leggings and things like that, but no, I still feel just like a potato. It's such a dumb thing, but like sometimes you just want to feel good about yourself, you know. And I went through so many pieces of clothes yesterday, just trying to feel good about myself, trying to get out of the house. I mean, even right now filming this video, I can see how white I look and how big my face looks, and I know it shouldn't matter. I know I'm growing a human being. I know it's beautiful. I know pregnancy is really a miracle, and so many women want to be pregnant, but it's just so hard to fight those demons. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, half my brain knows that, you know, this is beautiful and I will, you know, come back and do it all over again and be fit again, and my clothes will fit one day. But the other half is just like, you look like a sack of potatoes and nothing fits you, and stay in bed and don't leave the house. And it's been so challenging to like see myself like this the second time around, especially during a time where I usually love to be out. The weather in Houston is perfect. There's so much to do, and I'm just exhausted. Mentally, I just feel gross, and I'm having a hard time. So I'm really trying to dig myself out of this hole. Like I said, there's really not much I can do right now about, you know, the scans or getting answers or anything like that. So I'm kind of just letting time pass, and I'm trying really hard not to think about it too much. I feel him move, I feel him kick, I feel my stomach grow. Those are all things that bring me some sort of peace, and I'm really trying not to focus too much on the potential. I'll cross those bridges if I have to get there, but there's no need for me to like waste my mental health on that right now. Trying hard to keep myself busy, which sucks because I'm so tired, but you know, the nursery is almost ready. I'm really loving how everything looks. We have a name. I ordered the name sign. I'm trying to like prep my hospital bag, like those little things that were very, very exciting the first time. I want them to be just as exciting this time around. So ordering the little monthly signs and clothes that match Olivia and things like that have really like made me really happy. I've been really enjoying thrift shopping, so I've been shopping a ton at Goodwill for baby clothes and seeing little baby items like for baby boy. It made me really happy, and just really trying to make this season magical for Olivia. Even though this is technically her 3rd Christmas, I feel like she's finally old enough to really understand the concept, to you know, get excited about things. So even though I really don't feel like, if it was up to me, I would just be in a hole for the rest of the year until I give birth, but I can't do that because of Olivia. So if anything, if there's one person keeping me grounded right now, it's Olivia. I'm really thankful, but at the same time, like I said, guilt is eating me alive constantly about not being a good enough mom, because I'm so tired, because I'm so like anxious, because I'm so easily triggered by little things right now. So it's just been an exhausting time, but I'm hoping, you know, after the holiday craze is done, you know, my best friend is about to have her baby, then my cousin's about to have her baby. It's a really exciting start to the new year. So I thought I would catch y'all up, because I mean, it's not even with y'all, I've been MIA with every single person in my life. That's another thing that is kind of eating me alive. I'm just like, dang, I haven't checked in on so many of my friends. I haven't talked to family members. I haven't done anything, but hopefully, you know, they'll give me some grace. I wanted to catch up with y'all. I wanted to get back into doing YouTube. I've been trying to post more on TikTok, which has been really fun. You know, I try to film a video and I see my face and I'm just like, ooh. I know this will pass. I know. It's just very, very temporary. I'm trying to be grateful for all the positive things instead of like dwelling on little things or things that I can't control. That's it for today's video. I know it was kind of depressing and probably not an exciting video for you to watch. Hopefully if you watched it and you're still here, it gives you some context to where I've been. And like I said, if you've had any experience, whether it's negative or positive or anything with what I talked about with baby boy, you know, measuring small, or if you know of anyone who had a baby that was measuring small and kind of like a similar situation, please let me know. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching, for checking in on me, and for being here. I will talk to you guys very soon in my next one. Happy holidays and Happy New Year. I have no idea when I'm going to post this, so hopefully you guys had an amazing holiday season, and I'll be back very, very soon.